Welcome. Welcome back to the channel, people. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the mistakes that apprentices make while joining the trade. I've been a plumber for over 23 years now, and I've seen a lot of apprentices come into the industry and act like this is school. Turn up with the attitude of, I don't really want to be here. Why am I here? What have we got to do today? That's not the attitude of someone who wants to work. What I want to make people aware of is that this judgmental world which we live in, which people look at others and say, oh, they're not a good person. This person is a good person. So it's very judgmental, is my point, is what I want to express to people. But when you turn up with the attitude of your hood up, don't know if I want to be here, like, got other things to do, like, boom, I'm on TikTok, like, just scrolling. If I'm looking like this, do I look like I'm ready to go into someone's house? No, not really. But the point, what I want to make to people is that the world we live in today is very judgmental on how we look, how we act, and how we carry ourselves as well. So your attitude needs to change when you're going into properties, when you're going to work. I know when you're younger, work doesn't feel like something you want to be doing. You want to be outside with the guys. You want to be, I don't know, on a little glide, going up shopping, getting yourself some ice cream. I don't know what you lot be doing. I'm not that young anymore, so I'm out of touch with things like that. But one thing I have got to say is that what you can be is you can act like you're interested within your day. And that's something you've got to kind of learn to do. When I used to work with this guy as an apprentice, yeah, I was at 16, 17. Yeah, I was at 17, 18, sorry. And he used to get the newspaper every day. And he used to be like, Jack, what are you looking at, man? Why do you always get the paper for? Why do you always want to know what's going on in the rest of the world when you got to work? It's because he's got a life. It's because he's got more things to do than just go to work. So understanding what's going on in the rest of the world is always going to affect him and affect his life. It's only when I got older, I started to like really realize these things, because I'm now operating in the world with the money to be able to do whatever I want, go on holiday, buy what I want, because I have money. And it made me think to myself, what advice could I give to apprentices or people who are struggling? It takes no time at all, not a lot of effort, to be able to try and look like you're engaged, you're interested in what people are talking about for a couple of hours, because in the long run, I will be honest with you, it's actually really worth it. Both parties want to feel like they're not wasting their time. You don't want to feel like you're wasting your time when you're at work. So what you're doing is you're getting some knowledge and possibly some confidence and some experience from the plumbers who you're with, right? But if you come across like the class clown, and when you left school, you was like that person who was just funny, banter, joker, bit of an arsehole. When you get to a site, you will be at like the bottom of the pecking order, because you're still young. You still think it's all right to do this or do that, but you're with adults now who will do one further to you and make you look like the idiot while they laugh about it. And that's what type of thing that I see happening within this industry. But it's also a conversation what needs to be had, which is, when adults are bantering like that or doing that, that person would feel like it's time for them to jump in and say something, but they weren't talking to you. So even as you grow up, you got to learn to pick your arguments, because coming out of school or college, you might feel like you're that person who, you know, can give it jip, can run up your mouth, can say what you want to say. You might be, but there is always going to be someone who's going to challenge you, because that type of attitude isn't always respected everywhere. And the job what we do, you have to be quite respectful towards people, because you're in their homes, you're in their bathroom, you are in merchants and stuff like that. So you're in and out of places. So there has to be some level of decorum to you. And I know that a lot of people will throw away their opportunity within the trade because of their attitude, like their outlook on things. Oh, I'm not touching that. Oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, that's gross, man. Why we got to do that? Because it's the job. Because that's what we got to do today. Do I have to get out and do this one with you? Yeah, you do. You don't even know what it is. So how are you going to fix it when I'm not here? I know it seems like when people are trying to show you something or teach you something, there's different ways that you take it as a young person. Oh, he's telling me what to do. He's not showing me what to do. He's not helping me in the way. I say he a lot because I've grown up with a lot of male plumbers. There are female plumbers. I'll say it next time. Oh, she's not showing me what to do. She's not telling me what valve I need to turn off. And look, granted, I can be totally frank with you lot, yeah. Some adults sometimes, when it comes to this trades, yeah, they're very cut and shut. Do this now, do that. Don't be silly. Da 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 da. It even that type of attitude towards someone who's younger, yeah, it might not work for you, bro. You might look at that and be like, my man's rude. I don't want people to talk to me like that. But you have to come to a common grounds of respect with each other, and either you respect them or they respect you. Either way, someone's got to start showing some respect. And that's where it all starts for us as adults and people who are actually getting into the trade. Again, the job what you turn up to do, you shouldn't be looking like you're going out on a night out. The other day I see someone who looks like an apprentice. I can only assume they look like an apprentice because they look young, right? They had their work trousers on. So weirdly enough, I've got some work trousers right here. So imagine this, yeah? I've got these style of work trousers on, right? And while I've got these work trousers on, I've got like a Gucci belt on. Don't get me wrong, I'm all down for wear whatever you want to work, but it doesn't really make much sense you doing a construction job, like going in and out of houses and properties, and you've got this Gucci belt on. It could be fake. I don't know. I don't know. But it is attire. But you want to ask yourself, you know, if you spent, I don't know how much is a real belt, maybe 500, 600 pounds. Don't wear it to work, man. Wear it when you're in your own spare time. And I get it that you just like dressing up, but work isn't that type of situation. You need to dress accordingly to what you're doing. Do you get it? And that kind of stood out to me because I recognized the belt and I was like, "Raw, Gucci belt, yeah? All right, cool." Bit unnecessary because you got your electrical tools in your pocket, and I can see you as an electrician. But again, just wear attire which makes sense when you turn up for work. That way, when people see you, yeah, they take you a little bit more seriously. I know that if I saw that person, I mean, I'm taking them that seriously, to be honest, because how they look like they're ready to go out on a night out. Do you get it? Like, this is a night out. This is work, mate. So try and dress accordingly to what you're doing, because that definitely does help with people on how they judge you. Yeah, because we live in a judgmental world nowadays. Obviously, they're going to judge you for how you talk as well, and we'll talk about that in a second. Um, when I've been at work, or when I am at work, no one call me bro. I'm not big bro. I'm not unk. Don't call me any of that. Call me by my government name, please and thank you. I know sometimes we stretch the lingua when we speak to each other. Yeah, man, because this man was out of order. You get me though? You know what I mean? That's as far as we're going. You get me, and you know what I mean. The rest of the stuff, save for 5:30 when you finish work, my boys. Don't bring that to the 9 to 5, because they will start to label you with a lot of other things. He don't know how to communicate. He's got a poor IQ. He has nothing in a sense of the type of, he needs a dictionary. That's what they need to say. Well, I was going to tell you he needs some milk, but you need a dictionary to widen your vocabulary, because being part of this trade, you're going to learn certain things. Like if somebody asks you, how does a radiator work? Yeah. A radiator works through radiation first. So the heat radiates off the radiator, and then it works from convection, which is the air flowing around in the room. If I wasn't able to explain both of those two words, what the hell is the point in me saying it to you? You wouldn't get the point. Do you get it? But your vocabulary, when you work on it and you sharpen it, even when you're talking to your little female friends, they'll be like, yo, got to take my man out on a date. He's moving different. I'm just plugging you into where you need to be plugged in, people. I ain't told you already, but I need to tell you now. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. I do these live streams off the top of my head because I want to help my community, which is plumbers, which is people who are newly getting into the industry, who need that bit of help or that bit of guidance, because everybody doesn't have access to mentors, people who are going to help you on your journey. Some of us are just out here watching content, wondering who to take notice from, and not knowing if them people are certified at all about what they're talking about. Me, 23 years in it, 30. That's it. You can search me up. We done stuff. But now I like to talk my reality, because the reality is that, like I said earlier, very judgmental time we live in now. People are willing to make accusations about people instead of finding out real details, whether if somebody struggles with learning, that's the reason why they don't ask you questions, or if they feel comfortable. You know, there are a lot of introverts nowadays. That's what they call themselves, right? And then an extrovert is like someone who wants to be talking to everybody. I feel that there's more of the introvert people about, but you can't be like that in this trade, because you've got to communicate with people. How you get more customers, how you get better at jobs is you talk to people, you communicate, you express your problems with an install. You might say to someone that, you know what, it's going to work more efficiently if we do it like this. We take out these two bends and we just put a 45 there. Less bends increases flow rate, not more pressure. Flow rate is another thing where you need to work on your wording. Because again, if you was young and you didn't know what that meant and you was an apprentice, this is where you're not got your plumbing head on. You've got your own head on, which I'm just telling you, if you want to get better at it, you just got to knuckle down. There's some things what you got to turn off from. Sometimes you got to be not so much of a consumer of the TikTok, yeah, because that ain't helping you. You know, oftenly the biggest distraction for young plumbers and young people is social media. I'll be honest with you. If it's not really helping your life, yeah, you got to put it down. If it's not helping you get to where you need to get to, try and put it down, man. Because if you focus on time and you look at time and you say to yourself, you've got a lot of it, you haven't. Because no matter how you look at it, no matter what age you are, if you're a plumber just starting off, there's someone who's starting off who's miles ahead of you already. All you got to do is stay focused on you, and you got to make sure that you reach your goal, because no one's going to do it for you. And like I said, the world we live in is very much about critiquing people. Yeah, what they're doing wrong, what's their biggest mistake. I'll be so real with you. Even as an adult, grown ass man, I see grown ass men making mistakes all of the time. It's normal, but there's different ways on how they cover it up. There is something which is called accountability, which is something we all have to learn at some point. Be accountable for your own actions. If you're late today or tomorrow, say you was late. Be upfront. I'm really sorry I was late. When I was younger, I used to do that a lot. Be late, yeah. I'd make up excuses. Oh, do you know what? I got up late. I da. But really, it was just me being late. And I had a conversation with the person who used to pick me up about that. And he drove off one time, innit, and said, "Oh, you got to make your own way there." And I was late probably about 3 times, and then he drove off and left me one time. But that taught me such a lesson, because it took me ages to get there. And I said to myself, never again will I be late. Never again will I be late when someone else is picking me up to be able to give me a lift to get money. And it's not like he don't ask me for no money out of my money. So I've got to be respectful in this scenario and think about how others treat me so I can treat them the same. Do you get it? I know it's one of them conversations which you feel like you don't really need sometimes, but you do. We all need it sometimes, which is a little telling to be able to be aware of the things what you're doing, what you just don't see sometimes. You don't see how it impacts someone else by you being late. It might make the job take longer. You might miss the traffic. So oftenly when I'm working and stuff, yeah, there is a lot of traffic in the morning. So I want to try and make sure that I'm at where I need to be as soon as possible, because again, someone's picking me up. Got to be mindful of that. But sometimes we don't. We just think about ourselves. But here's a friendly message for you to remember, like there's a lot of competition in people trying to get places in life. And if you're luckily enough to have an apprenticeship and you've got yourself there, my message today is never mess it up for yourself through your attitude, behavior, how you carry on, and just understand that no matter where you go, there's always someone looking and kind of like judging a little bit of your behavior. Whether you think it's just nothing, he's just joking and stuff. Limit some of the jokes, what you do. They don't find them that funny. That's it. I'm not trying to say that you're going to have to go to work and it's going to be like, you're going to have to be like a Grinch when you're in work. You don't, like, it's so boring here. I'm not saying that. Work has always been funny for me and fun, and I've enjoyed it. But there's been times when I've had to realize how I carry myself. And it's very important how I carry myself, because people are always going to have an opinion, like I could call the guy who I used to be his apprentice, because I was his only apprentice in his, I think he's been a plumber for 40 years, 45 years. And I gave him hell at points, but he put up with me. He did. But he definitely put me on the straight and narrow. And I have had my own success. Yeah. But I still want to tell people about the times when I needed someone to say something to me. And those people were those people were perfect examples. They helped me, told me, come on, man, you need to tidy up, or that needs to be a lot better than what it is right now. Okay, so before I say I'm done, I'm gonna tidy it up. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna test it before I even say to him I'm finished, because all the rushing, you need to make sure you're doing it properly. Take pride in a lot of your work, what you do, because one day you'll be the person charging for that job. That's all I gotta say. Take pride in what you do, people, man, because the journey can never be stopped if you don't let people stop it. You could become a millionaire from being a plumber. It's true. But you got to get past the phase of being the shitty electrician. It's a shitty apprentice. Sorry, I nearly said electrician. It just comes out my mouth all of a sudden. Nah, you could be the amazing apprentice, people. Yeah. Um, just think about the skills, what you're getting already. Uh, some of you lot are grateful for the position you're in. Some of you lot are not. There's nothing that people can say to change that. You're either going to see that in due time, or you're not. But we're not here to talk about that. We're just here to talk about things which I know that people do wrong, which they could do right. And when it comes to college, yeah, and going to college, some of that experience you lot need to take a little bit more seriously, because once your college kicks you out, where are you gonna go? Because a lot of people sometimes, when they're in the college side of it and they're not at an apprenticeship, they just feel like, oh yeah, I don't even want to be here, man. I can't. And that's the attitude. It's got to go away. Anyway, we've had a long chat. I'm going to introduce myself, which is Mr. London Plumber. Welcome to my community. If you want to join and subscribe, smash that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you're on the live right now. And let me look at this last question. Yeah. What someone said is people take time out to work these days, but others don't respect their time. You got to respect other people's time and effort, because there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, people. You have respect for your parents and people like that, but other people you work with, you seem to think that it's just normal, but it's not normal to disrespect anyone. Yeah. It might seem like there is hell of a lot of banter and jokes within construction sites and being a plumber, but the reality is that it's quite a respectful job at the end of the day. Society respects you for doing this type of job. It's not really frowned upon. Like, people that don't know, they might think that you, I don't know, unblock toilets, but that's, anyway, simple minded people think like that. But others understand that plumbers make a decent wage and always have been. It's a respectful job to have. And if you've got anyone who's willing to offer their time to you as a mentor to help you get to somewhere else, there is a respectful way that you should be towards them. Definitely so. You know, I'm very respectful to the person who took me underneath their wing as an apprentice, because, again, tell you from now, he's the only person who's ever helped me like that, day in, day out, put in the most work with myself. Even when it was times when I was in the van on my phone, not talking, and just, I don't know, I might have come back from a night out or something. I can't really be that arsed. Again, would tell me straight, Jay, you got to change your attitude today. We've got X and Y, Z to do. You can't be on the phone all the time. He never used to tell me a lot about not being on the phone because I used to be wary of that. But now it's worse because you know you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got all that type of stuff, and you just need to find time to do it in your own time, not in other people's time. That side of being respectful towards others is something what you've got to learn seriously, because if someone ever asks you, how much money do you make from your phone when you're watching these videos? What are you going to say? Nothing. Because you don't. And more time, it's not like you're learning something because you're looking at OF gal, booties and all that. It's not helping, is it? You're looking at some trainers, what you don't have right now. Make time, respect people, and understand that these people are looking at you as the next up. That's it. If you're on this live at the moment, I need you to like it. I need you to drop a little comment because that really helps out with my page. But most important, the people who are on the live right now, I can see on my screen, smash that little like button before you come off, people. And the rest of you lot who are not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel because I do honest conversations like this to help people and to give them a little bit of an insight into the things which others say, but how you can obviously get around them. And none of these things, what I've said in this live, is undoable by the worst person who has the worst attitude and doesn't care, because everything can be changed within a period of time. But you don't want to give it or wait till that moment until they say they need to talk to you or like you're on your last warning. Don't get there. Sort it out before. Be in control of your life because your destiny is never set by anybody. I mean, you can do anything you want. Trust me. You'll be working overseas, abroad before you know it, making money, but you won't do it if you don't get past this hurdle of the bad apprentice or the apprentice who is not so engaged as everybody else to being this person who could be flown around for their job. Do you get it? Like and share and subscribe, people. It's Mr. London Plumber. I'm out here. You don't have a good day. Be good.